Welcome to another episode of St. Vincent Untold Stories. On this episode, we look at judgments handed down by the Magisterial Court of Law. Big ups to all of my subscribers. And if you are new to the channel, please remember to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you wish to see more videos like these. We as Caribbean people are from a Christian society, and we go by the laws of the Bible, saying no sin is greater than none. There have been several instances around St. Vincent and the Grenadines where big money have been stolen by government workers, accountants, and insurance brokers. When these persons are caught and brought to justice, we see many times they get off with a slap on the wrist. This is how the system works. Most time the money is gone missing and the perpetrator is caught. They do social inquiries, they do background checks and so forth. When they do the background checks and they find out that the persons are first time offenders, the court look at them differently. They ask questions like, what was the motive why you took those monies? Most of the time, the perpetrator says, I was in a financial crisis and I borrowed the money and thought I would have paid back before the boss found out. We have to remember, these magistrates were specially trained. So if the perpetrator says they took the money to do such and such, and they do the social inquiry, they would say, yes, that's the case. Because good school, good college, good Christian girl, that must be the motive. So most times, that person is given the opportunity to pay back the money. Because remember, they have an education, it is easy for them to get a job. Then we have cases of petty theft, where an offender thieves something like provision, livestock and so forth, and is given a 2-year sentence. Then the society says, how comes they wasn't given the same punishment like the offender who took the big money? But when they do the social inquiry on the petty theft, they find out that most of the petty thieves are repeat offenders. The magistrate makes a judgment and he says, who would be the one most to go back and harm the society again? So he makes a judgment and he said, most likely the repeat offender. In the American court of law, once you keep stealing and the society gets fed up of you, they lost you in jail. But in St. Vincent, the magistrate might give you 6 months on your first offense, a 1 year on the second, and a 2 year on the third. Someone steals some money at the bank. Who does it affect? Yes, it does affect everyone, the entire society. But then again, a repeat offender comes into your house with a gun. That is more than one crime. That's attempted murder, and that's offense with a deadly weapon. Once you rob someone and you stick them up with a gun, it is considered armed robbery. Then there are cases where murderers get lesser sentence than an armed robber. But in the court of law, what most people don't understand, that there are different classes of murder. There is manslaughter, first-degree murder, and second-degree murder, and murder in self-defense. If we observe correctly, we would see that most murders in St. Vincent are either on the grounds of self-defense or manslaughter. It is either two rum men start an argument over a petty battle. One might get up and say, boy, you drink half me rum. Another one might say, man, me buy rum give you already, you can't tell me that. And it's just so an argument start. And the man them pull them weapon and one damage one and put one a dove cat. And he gone jail now for manslaughter. Then there's the instance of things like serial, first-degree murder, where a Dan man might call a road boy and say, me get a work for squeeze off. And while the road boy go squeeze off the work, him get catch on the apps. Then now, while on the apps, several witness saw what the road boy did. And then go to court and testify. And the road boy is found guilty. Because he prolonged the case, he gets a harsher sentence. The reason for the harsher sentence is that the magistrate looks at it this way. He says, all the time you had a chance to plead guilty at the first opportunity, but you wasted the court's time and made the court waste money and cause more trauma on the victim's family. What the court is doing It is giving you an opportunity to get a discount off of your sentence. For example, a one-third discount can be afforded to you by pleading guilty at first offense. But in most instances, once you are found guilty, the court still does the social inquiry. And they might sentence you to a sentence that runs concurrently. Concurrently mean if they give you 7 years for the murder and 5 years for the gun, you would only do the higher sentence, which is 7 years. Then there's the sentence that runs consecutively, mean you do all of the sentence, you do the 7 plus the 5. You see, once you are charged for murder in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they do not grant you bail, they remand you into custody. What that remand time is for is so that the prosecutor and the officers can have enough time to investigate the matter properly. So while you are sitting there behind bars, you don't waste time either. You look at the ends, you look at the loopholes in order to beat your case. And if you are found guilty, they will give you a chance to put in an application for appeal. During that time now you put in that application for an appeal, that's the time you need to start reading books about the justice system. The most crucial part of any investigation is the first 48 hours. And if the police don't pick you up in that first 48 hours, that means they haven't gathered enough evidence. It have instances in St. Vincent where prisoners spend 5 to 6 years on remand before their case is heard. During that time is the most crucial time. It can be beneficial to you or it can work against you. While on remand before the case is heard, another social inquiry is done on you by the SOP of prison to know if you are a well-behaved prisoner, if you are violent behind bars. And if the social inquiry says that you are well-behaved, the magistrate looks at all those aspects and he says, you know what, this prisoner can be rehabilitated, so you won't give him the full force of the sentence. When you are given that chance to plead guilty at the first opportunity made to you possible, you either take it or you leave it. Some prisoners, they plead not guilty first. Then years after, when the case is heard, they plead guilty. Because some men talk to them and tell them, you would get lesser time, or you would get more time, just do your time and touch road. There was a case a few years ago of a murder that happened in town, where a key witness testified that he was there when the two men planned the murder to kill the man. And when they came off of the apps, they said yes, we shot him in his head back. When I did a research on that key witness, I noticed that he used to frequent prisons a lot. What did you accused fail to do? They failed to question the key witness credibility. And on one instance, the man said that the police then pressure him to give a statement. So you see, all that had to be questioned. That key witness was put down a few years later. But you see the man them incarcerated, so them cannot even blame the man them. All around the world, there are prisoners who are in jail innocent. Because when they were picked up, they said things or they gave a statement. If you know you are innocent of a crime, you plead a fifth, you don't give a statement, and you ask to speak to a lawyer. Remember, going in front of the magistrate and say that the police hit you, that won't work. Because when the police take a statement, they have to get either 1 or 2 justice of peace in your presence. And the police, they won't hit you in front of the justice of peace. Some men give the statement still in front of the JP because of right. They might get beaten before, but as I said, they cannot beat you in the presence of the JP. It have a lot of people love to blow things out of context. They would go back and say what you didn't say. On this program, I express my honest opinion and I give you the facts as the facts is stated in the news articles. It had an instance where someone tried to set up untold stories and they went back and tell certain prisoner that man calling up their name and carry classified information. But when the man them call me from down so and me explain to them and that's how me say, me send the program for them and me say, look at the program yourselves and be your own judge. I was trying to help that prisoner. As a student who did biology in school, observation comes before conclusion. And the man them who send the video give the man them a man who use conclusion before observation. On untold stories, we don't style prisoners because prison was made for everyone. You could do the simplest thing and end up there. Me just try to show some man see you could take a different part in a life. And this program is about rehabilitation. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you wish to see more videos like these. On the program, we have a community set up where the subscribers can interact with the narrator. And as I said before, we are about helping out youths. You can sponsor the program or you can make donations. So you see the man them with their prison and he can afford certain school supplies to them youths or certain victims that were affected. You can help to contribute to help their youths go to school and make them become better citizens in the future. I'm out.